So today we're just going to be looking at a sample problem and how to solve it. And I think the solution will be pretty evident, but what we want to do is just go through the process and look at how these aren't really, you know, difficult. I mean, it's easy to go into a situation like a programming competition and really think, man, these must be really difficult problems. Um, and that may not always be the case. If you know Java and you have a mind for just solving problems in general, how to set up a problem and so forth and so on, then it is actually quite easy to solve these problems. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at solving one problem. And so I'm just looking at right here, I'm going to look at this program from 2010, a long time ago. And we're going to look at the DICE program. Okay, so rather have it just like this. So there are many games in which six-sided dice are used to determine a random outcome of the game. The dice numbered 1 through 6 can be represented with 7 characters across and 5 characters down, and a lowercase o for each dot on a line. Okay, and so James is writing a game that uses dice like these in his program. You're to write a program that will print the dice for him. So here, approximately halfway through and halfway down, we have a dot for 1, and so forth and so on. So printing these out is not that hard, or actually, creating a program that prints this out. Okay, so what we want to do is we could create functions that will print these out. Okay, and or just one function really. So what we want to do is we want to first create this input file. Okay, and so this input file is called dice.dat. Okay, dice.dat. And what we're going to do is we're going to create that first. Okay, so I'm just going to do that inside of Notepad++, new, and we will say that exactly how they have it, 2 and 3 and 1. So 2, 3, 1, and we're going to save as, save as, and then we're going to save it into this directory that we were using last time. So for me, that's under users, dgatewood, and then period 8. Okay, so period 8, and I'm going to save this as dice.dat. Okay, and so this is saved in my period 8, and so what we want to do is we're going to program this, and we're going to use the file or the way that we created the file from last time. Okay, well, let's see here. All right, so here we have this this public class elite, and this is what we were looking at last time. And so this, so we don't want elite. Okay, so if we were in a programming competition, we wouldn't be able to use this code. But I don't want to waste any time going over what we did last time. Okay, and really it's just pretty easy. Don't forget to throws IO exception, and this is in case the file is not found or something like that. All right, and we're used to putting system.in right here for our scanner, and this just, instead of system.in, we're just reading the file here. And so this is going to get our parse int, and so we are reading in an int, and so this is the proper, so we're actually reading in a string, and this integer.parseInt is a method that is turning that string into an int. Okay, and so here is our input, and what we want to do is we basically we're going to take in this nums array, and we're going to get the next pieces of input. Okay, and these are going to be the dice within our program. Okay, so here we can actually leave that there, but we're going to create a new method, okay? And this method is going to be called public static, and I guess I can scroll up. Public static void print dice, and this is going to take in an int val. Okay, and so this value is the dice that we want to print. Okay, now this is going to be a long one. Okay, and so sometimes these programs are super easy, but they're just tedious in that they are long. Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to print this out into 6 different statements. So here we're going to say if val is equal to 1, what do we want to do? And once we get this done, then it's a lot of just copying and pasting. So what we're going to do is we're going to do system.out.println, and we're going to do, so if we look at the example, they said it's 7 across and 5 down. Okay, and so this one, let's just make sure that we are getting the right characters here. Okay, and I think they are. Yep, they're exactly what I thought. And so this is 7 across, 5 down, and what we're going to do here for the 3 in between, so this is system.out.println, and this is going to have one of these, 1, 2, 4, 5, and another one of those. Okay, and I'm just going to copy and print this out, or paste this out 2 more times. And here we're just going to come back and do this one. And so now we have our blank die. Okay, and so what we want to do is this is going to be for 1. So here we said a lowercase o would represent a 1, and then this is the center position for O, and so that's great. What we're going to do now is we're going to say if val is equal to 2, and you get the idea. We're just going to copy and paste this, and that's going to save us a ton of time. And so one thing that we need to keep in mind is that as we're going through this, we're keeping an eye on exactly what they're wanting. So this one is 2 over 1 down. So it's going to be right here. Nope. It's going to be, oops. It's going to be right here. So this is our 2. Okay, and I'm just going to copy and paste this. Our 3 is just like that. Okay, our 4, and so let me go ahead and change this value. And so you can start to see that some of these can get knocked out very quickly. Okay, so this is going to be 4, and I think this is, we get rid of that, and this one is going to go here and there. Okay, just to double check that, and that looks correct. And so the 4 is going to be very similar to the 5, and so we're going to say if val is equal to 5, then we do this here. Okay, and then if val is equal to 6, we are going to, now we have our 6. Okay, so this is all we need So we have this print dice, and what we want to do up here is for int I is equal to, so here we're going to make a call to this this function. So we're going to say print dice, and we're going to say input. I'm sorry. We're going to say nums at I, and then after that we're just going to do a system.out.println, because they say that you want a print line in between each dice. Okay, so here this is awesome. Let's go ahead and see if it works. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and compile. I get no errors, and I want to run this dude. Okay, so here we're going to, so first number is 4. Let me double check something. Wait, is that right? The first number is 4. Oh, I'm not sure what happened, but this should be dice.dat. Okay, so compile. I don't really understand. Okay, and so the first number is 2. That just means that there are 2 dice here. And here we do our print die. Okay, and in fact, I'm just going to change some things. Here we want maybe 6 dice. We're playing Yahtzee, and I want a 6, a 5, a 2, and a 2. Okay, I'm just going to save that, and we're going to run this just to make sure that this works. Okay, so this means that there are 6 values in our DAT file, and here we're just printing out just like I had shown. Okay, and so yeah, this program was actually much easier than than it probably should be, and without me explaining it, I probably could have written this in less than just a few minutes. Okay, it says print exactly one blank line between each die printed. For each integer m, you'll print the corresponding die. Yeah, and so that's exactly what we did. And since we got it right the first time, well, of course we would test this out. We would create our own little, or we will have our sample DAT files available to us. This DAT file will be available to us, and we will test that our output is exactly like this. Now the judge's DAT file is going to be completely different. Okay, the judge's DAT file might be, it might say 6, and it might give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it might print out all the dice. Okay, so the judge's DAT file and your example input file are going to be different. The judges are going to be testing your whole program. Okay, and so, but the example input file is there just so you can run it and see that your program runs without errors, and then you can turn it in to be judged. Now, if you get it right the first time, so you checked your program and turned it in, and it ran correctly the first time, you would get 60 points. All right. However, if you turned it in and you got, and the judges said that there was something wrong with your program, it wasn't perfect, okay, you don't get any points at that time, but you get your envelope is returned to you. And then after the envelope is returned, you can make changes to your code. And so you make changes to your code, and if you turn it in the second time and it works, you get 5 points taken off. So now you get 55 points added to your team score. And each time that envelope is returned to you, 5 points are deducted. Okay, so you want to do it right the first time. Um, but yeah, so that's how the scoring goes. And so you see that um, there are going to be 12 problems. All right, and and look at this. Number 12, there is a George needs to print this statement 10 times, and you're to write a program that does this for him. All right, that's it. That's all that program needed is to print this 10 times. Now, in less than in less than 5 minutes, we could have already gotten 120 points just off of this one and problem 12. Now, I do want to go through more of these as the week goes on, or as before break. Um, and I kind of like this format where uh, we don't have to meet in person because we none of us are there um, to meet in person. Really, there's a couple of people that might be at the school occasionally, but um, I think going through Canvas like this is actually quite a good thing. Um, Write a program that will print all of the data in the data file. Wow. Uh, doesn't that seem super easy? You just read in each line and then you print it out. Okay? So let's see how long this video is so far. And right now it's only 16 minutes, so we have more than enough time. So we're just gonna do this one real quick. And so I'm gonna go ahead and take this and we'll call it Mary.dat, and we'll just use the same program that we did. We can just erase it. It's not like it's an awesome program, okay? So here we're just going to replace this with this. So we're creating a new DAT, and we're going to save as, and we're going to create save this as Mary.dat, okay? And so now we're going to create that program that does it, okay? So this one is going to be slightly different. All right, so here we don't want to put in the first line is. All right, we just want to print out. Okay, so here all we're going to do is while and here we say in dot has next line. I think that let's just double check that. Okay, so we're not in a competition right now. We can check to see scanner properties, scanner file methods. Okay, I think has next line is a thing. So has next, and this is it. Has next line. Okay, and so has next line means that there is another line available for us to read in. Okay, and so what we're going to do is we are going to and then we're going to say in dot okay, and then we're going to compile this. We get no errors, and we are going to run this, and did it not save? So something's going on here where it's not exactly saving. So this is Mary. Oh, I know what I did. I forgot to change this. Okay, so this is we said parse int here. and we don't want to do that. Okay, so we're just going to get rid of this line altogether. And that's, that's why you can run it at your your computer to see if there are problems, and then you give it to the judge. Okay, and if you look here, there is no extra line here, and this is exactly what's in the DAT file. Okay, and so in less than 10 minutes, you get 2 hours total to do all these problems. In less than 10 minutes, we have already secured 180 points. All right. Now, I'm sure there are more problems in here that we could identify. And for instance, this right here, there's no input, but all you're doing is creating this logo. Now, does this look tedious? Yeah. Is this hard? No. Okay, so this is a really good problem to, pick up a few more points. Here, perfection. Well, we'll save some for later. I kind of want to look at this one. It looks like it's a harder one. It looks like it may take some time or a little bit of thinking. Now, here's the thing. In a real competition, where it's in person, so if we were at, this year district's probably going to be online, but regionals or states may be in person if there's a vaccine available or whatever. Okay, so who knows? We could be super optimistic and think that might happen, but it might not. Who knows? I don't know. So what was I saying about that? I'm sorry. It's really late. But so yeah, what I was saying is, in the competition, one person's going to sit at the computer and they're going to say, "Oh, I know how to do this. I'm going to type it in real quick." And then the other two people, while they are waiting for them to type in the problem, they're going to be working with pencil and paper and writing out a solution to another problem, so that when they get access to the computer, then they can type out that problem very, very quickly. And they've already worked through the logic of the problem, and now they're just typing it out. So that is pretty much the format of how to be successful. Okay, and so yeah, we will look at more of this later on. And if you want to look through some of these, then it's a good idea. One thing they love to do is look at prime numbers. So if you can determine how to find prime numbers, there are pretty snazzy formulas that will determine the next prime number up. Sometimes they take, if you're trying to find prime numbers that haven't been found yet, you could spend weeks. But really, maybe if we have like a number 973, find the highest prime number that is some divisor of 973 or whatever. I guess if it's prime, then it's probably not a divisor. I don't know. But yeah, so they love prime number questions. So if you get really good at prime number stuff, then so that's a great thing, because it's pretty much in every other programming test is something about prime numbers. Okay, so that's going to end it for this lesson. But yeah, I plan on doing more of these with y'all, and especially some of the harder ones. But we worked through some of the easier ones, and I think today this evening was pretty productive. Even though it only lasted 25 minutes, that's roughly about how much time we would have in club anyways. So hopefully you work through some of these and through the process of creating the DAT and then actually working through the problem itself. And doing these easy ones is going to give you more confidence in doing some of the hard ones or even attempting them. And so I really want you to try to do these easy ones, with me, and then venture out on your own and try and do some of these harder ones in these packets. Okay, so I'm going to end the video right there, but just know that we will do more of these in the